afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Follow Suit Fashion Unfiltered. And to all my first-time viewers, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of what Follow Suit is all about. The name Follow Suit is a mantra, meaning to follow the suit. And as you follow the suit, you're going to come to realize that the suit is a mentor and a role model, whose purpose is to give guidance to the young men of this community and also to society. And it is my goal to honor and salute some of the people who have been doing the work. And not only have they done the work by putting the suit on, they actually wear the suit well. Hence the point, my guest, Kevin Ross. How you doing today, brother?
Good day, King. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good day. I should say King to you, because I like that.
Salute.
I like that, what you would say, salutation.
That's right.
That title.
That's right.
So, today the show is about fashion, then we spin it into community service and working with the youth and all that. So we're going to start off with a couple of questions about fashion. I see you got your nice crispy linen on, you got your moccasins on, those socks, so you got a little style with you. So what inspired you with your style?
For me, man, it was, I had 7 older brothers, man, and my oldest brother was in he was then playing patrol, always fashionable, man. And then as a youngster, a little older, so I remember a lot of the gangsters that used to walk around town, and they always had the flyest suits on, you know what I'm saying? So, I was inspired to be, a man of good dress, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, okay. It's funny how we always look to it, even as our era, I know we're around the same age, so our era, as we was watching, like I said, even those who was out there doing different things, they always dressed with a level of respect and character.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I see you sporting no socks. So is that one of your trademarks? You like the no sock route?
Well, in the summertime, yeah, you know what I mean? With my moccasins and, just real smooth. And that's the look I like sometimes, depending on where I'm going. With the linen suit, definitely got to throw on the no socks for me. So,
okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's sort of tradition with some people. I understand that. I
Sure.
feel it. You ain't got your tie on because you represent.
Yeah, I got, my program, my
shirt.
band, my
I'm
band.
going to ask you, do you have a tie collection, bow tie?
Absolutely, bow tie. I love my bow tie look, and my tie look as well. Again, as I got older, I really got connected to the true essence of looking good. I look good, I feel good, and it allows me a greater platform to be successful. Right. So that's how I turned it around from the guys who I looked at when I was younger to a guy today who not just looking the part, but acting the part.
Right. Is there any one particular designer that you like to wear?
I grew to love, man, Kenneth Cole, and then Steve Harvey's really, really good shop guy, man. He has a lot of good clothing line out. So yeah, I'll say definitely Steve Harvey for today.
Okay, that works. So let's spin it forward. Like I said, because I brought you on to salute you for the work you've been doing in the community and working with the young. So let's talk about Kevin Ross and the name of the program that you do, and you have a program of your own. So let's
Sure.
talk about that.
Sure.
Into that.
Absolutely, man. And so I've been doing this work for many years, man, over 20 plus years, mentoring and pouring into youth's lives because of my life journey. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life because pain and trauma controlled me. I didn't know how to redirect the anger that I was experiencing based on the traumatic situations that I've experienced in my life. And then one day God had me in an isolated space, man, in Plymouth. And I'm asking God why. I'm asking God what's going on. I mean, why should I serve you? Why should I have a relationship with you? And he began to pinpoint different times in my life where he saved me. I was making a lot of bad choices, but he allowed me to see the trajectory and the decisions that I thought I made, but it was really him changing the route of my path. Many of my guys that I grew up with, ran with, some of them haven't even came home yet. And he showed me that those pivotal points in my life, it was really him leading me and not me. And so that led me, man, to every day that I give breath, that he gives me breath, to be the change for the next generation, to sow the seeds, because it's a true blessing that I didn't have that same path that others had. And I'm still alive today. So today, I serve. And one of the programs, I have my own program, engaging with a couple of mental health agencies in the community. But most recently, since 2017, with BAM. BAM is Becoming a Man, school-based social emotional program. And we started in 2017 here in Boston, 4 schools, and now finishing up the year last year. We were in 10 schools, Boston Public Schools, as well as Somerville and Cambridge. And it's a dynamic program that really helps scholars, not telling them what manhood is like, but helping them identify that, the becoming, and giving them tools for the ever-evolving journey. Creating a space where it's safe to be vulnerable as men, because again, when I grew up, I couldn't cry. There were certain things that I was told that I had to do as a man, but really creating a space to dismantle that and help the scholars identify with the men that they desire to see and be, and giving them tools for the ever-evolving journey.
Yes. So I was fortunate enough, if y'all seen one of my episodes, I brought on 2 young men that were in this program. He was gracious enough to lend them to me so that I can bring them on and put the spotlight on them. So, and interacting with those young men, and it was like, I know that you made a great impression on them young men, because we talked about that with the label, the salutation of the word king.
Yes.
They love that.
Yes.
They love that.
Yes.
And so it's like, I also see, you're rocking the beads and all that stuff. So was the king something that you picked up along the way, or where did you get the king salutation from?
Oh man, great man. First, I want to say thank you for having those 2 young kings on, man. That was phenomenal. And those 2 guys, man, one of them, when BAM first came to Boston, I facilitated the group, and one of those guys were in my first group, man. So, he's really near and dear to me. And them 2 are both best friends. So actually, as assistant coach at the Burke, they both played for me at the Burke High School as well. Absolutely. And so King for me, it really, I connect to it because I want to continue to speak into who our young kings are, right? And really help them connect to, because when you first say to them, like, why are you calling me king? Because that's who we are. We come from kings. We come from royalty. And I want us to, first for myself, connect to my ancestors, because that's the power of who I am today. And the power of where I'm going to is when I'm standing and knowing that I'm accountable for the shoulders that I'm standing on. So that's why we speaking to the kings, and then our young queens, we call them queens. And as you spoke to my talents around my neck, these are really instrumental to my journey, because as our ancestors, we had a rites of passage to manhood. Today we don't. And these 2 that I have are from 2 weekends that I had the awesome opportunity to participate in my manhood journey. And just beginning a ruthless self-examination of who I am. Doing a ruthless self-examination of where I come from. And owning that, not just the pain, but the victory in all of it, who we are. So it's important for me. So these are both one from one weekend, which is Mankind Weekend, and the other one is Inward Journey, which is, Inward Journey is a whole nother level, because it really is intentional for us to tap into our ancestors from a slavery perspective. And man, I want to encourage every man today to participate in one of those weekends, man, because it was life-changing for me. It really allowed me to dismantle the truths that my life was built on, because I was living a bunch of lies as a man.
Well, that's great, brother. I mean, I really appreciate you. I salute you. I love the work that you're doing. And I found out, so this BAM program, BAM, y'all, pay attention, Becoming a Man. It's a global program. It's not, I thought it was a Boston-based program that some brothers have just put together.
Yeah, no, man, no. BAM started in Chicago in 2001. And over the years had tremendous success. And as we think about Chicago, right, tremendous success engaging with our young kings, increasing the graduation rate by over 23% and decreasing the violent crime arrest by over 53% with the young kings that were served. And Manuel at the time loved BAM, went to visit the program a couple different times, told the best president for me, Barack Obama. Barack visited the program a couple different times, and had some scholars out to the White House to announce him as one of his speaking arrangements. And then he started his My Brother's Keeper initiative after some visits with BAM. And since then, we expanded to Boston in 2017. Again, school-based program, really focused on 6 core values. integrity, accountability, self-determination, positive anger, especially respect for womanhood and visionary goal setting. And again, when you think about those six core values, there's no question on the man that you can choose to become when you focus on identifying with building your life around those six core values. So since 2017, we've expanded to Seattle, Los Angeles, Kansas City, Dallas, London, and in the fall we'll be in Washington D.C.
Okay, that's great, man. That's great. So you have to be in the public school, Boston public school system to get into the program as of right now?
Unfortunately, yes. Right now it's because it's school based, and we're in 10 BPS schools. Then we're in Somerville and Cambridge. So you have to be in one of those schools. But our goal, and the executive director, my guy Sean Brown, our goal is to make sure every young scholar has the opportunity. But that's why I still have my other program as well called Kings Rooted. That's some family work that I do in the community. And really working with our families and kings and queens, identifying with mental health, because mental health is huge.
Yes, that's it. So we had a little quick conversation off camera when we were, strolling in, and we was talking about fathers and the fathers and the relationships with the fathers, and then you told me how about your father and you took on his name.
Yes.
So, and I said, wow, that's sort of how a story with me where a lot of people know my father, but they know him as a different name. But I'm actually named after him, but he didn't want to use that name. So
sure.
That was it's like we connect on so many different levels, not just on to think of the street levels of us coming from one place to another and
sure.
trying to make a difference.
Yes. Yeah, I get that question a lot because, on my social media, especially Facebook, I'm Kevin Offit. In 2017, I found out who my father was. Most people know me all of my life through Ross, but on Facebook I changed. I haven't made the actual change, something I'm working on, because what I learned from me is that heritage is important. My legacy is important, and my desire is to carry on the legacy of the man who gave life to me, and gave the seed for life to me. My mom gave life to me. Right. But and carry on his name. So Offit, O-F-F-U-T-T. That's my dad is Eddie Offit.
Okay. And, so I know you said you was in a place or wherever, and you started to, the highest power you started to receive him and see him because he's always there. He doesn't just appear. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. So but when you took the time to actually see him and hear him, it helped you with your change. But what you think made you want to make that a change for the next generation, for the youth? What do you think put that spark in you of like, let me get this to the young generation, especially the young men?
Because I knew what it was like for me growing up in a single parent home. I know it was like for me not really being able to connect to the true essence of who I am based on society, based on my upbringing. I grew up in the era of busing, so I was bused to school, man, to South Boston, man. There were days I didn't know if I was going to come home, man, make it home, because they're bombing our buses, calling me whatever words they wanted to call me, and then going into the MECO program, and again, still really not able to really identify with who I was based on all of what was going on in my life. And so I've experienced some of the things that these young kings are experiencing. And I know, again, based on my conversation with God, he kept me for such a time as this and such a purpose as this. So for me, it's to serve, man. It's to be the change for that young man, for that young queen who might not have that father figure, for that young man, for that queen who might be going through some maybe trauma or some different trauma that I haven't experienced, but trauma is trauma, right? And just being a mentor for them is, what, I too can make it because I've been through it. So, because for me, it's installation of hope. That's what our youth need, right? And being in position to be that installation of hope, that's important for me.
Right. So, last question then. What advice would you give a young man if he came to you right now and said, "Oh man, my father's not around. He's never been around. I don't love him. I hate him. I can't stand him. I don't want to do nothing. My life is in ruins." And he thinks the only hope and chance that he has is to go and do what he sees that society has pushed us to think that that's the way for us to be successful. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure, absolutely, man. Great question. And because that happens a lot, right? And for me, it's not about, I don't do good with giving advice, right? Because advice is about me, right? What the platform that I work on is helping a young scholar, you know, from a cognitive perspective, identify with what is it that you want out of life, right? And tap into his goal, because every one of us have a goal. Every one of us have potential, right? But the opposite part of potential is the action behind it. So help him connect to his purpose, right? And give him the tools to reach that, because man, our young kings and queens are powerful and they are the change. And it's just that installation of hope for them to identify with, meeting him at that pain, letting him know, man, it's okay to feel that way, and welcome that, and not tell him, man, you shouldn't feel that way, your dad. No, helping him embrace that pain, because for me, the greatest place of my pain produced the greatest purpose of my life, and that's why I give back, man.
All right, I appreciate you. So look in that camera right there and let them know where they can reach you, find you, contact you if somebody needs to see you.
Awesome. Family, Kevin Ross. You can reach me on social media platform, Kevin Offutt, Kevin Offutt, or if you wanted some support with the BAM program, you can definitely reach out for BAM Boston, Youth Guidance BAM Boston. We have a page on social media. LinkedIn is Kevin Ross. Again, please utilize one of those platforms to get in touch with me. I love to serve you, and I'll see you at the top.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate the young men that you brought through. And like I said, you definitely made a great impact on them just from interacting with them. I appreciate you so much, and keep up the good work. And it's my pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for what you're doing, man.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right, y'all. That's it for this episode of Follow Suit. We'll be back with another one. We're gone.